So part of that forgiveness is realizing that my intentions were there, that I had my intentions, my heart was in the right place. I had the right intentions. It's just that that's not going to be who I am anymore. I won't still be who I was last week. Okay? Not that anything was bad. If you consider yourself an expression of love, comment "I am that" in the comment box below. Hey y'all, this episode was recorded October 16th, 2021. And today is February 19th, 2022, and I am just now releasing this episode today. I stumbled across it in my archives. I actually had forgotten that I recorded it until a few days, like 2 days ago. And I'm realizing now that this episode has to be published. It was never meant to see the light of day. After I recorded it originally, I was like, I'm never going to post this. And here I am doing things I said I would never do. I hope y'all enjoy this episode. I hope this helps create freedom for somebody, or compassion or forgiveness for self. I hope it just challenges some of your inner thoughts in a way that benefits you in your journey. Thank you. What's up, y'all? Y'all like my, hold on, wait. I light a candle. Ooh. I'm gonna light this one actually. All right. What up? Hold on, wait. Let me back this up. Let me back it 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 up. Okay. Am I backed up? All right. Hey, y'all. Look. Let me light this Palo Santo. Light the Palo Santo. It's getting lit right now. It lighting. It lighting. There we go. It lit. It lit. Oh, I like the smell of that. I like that Palo Santo. It smell good. Put some right here. Cleanse this space. And cleanse y'all. There we go. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna set it here on my little smudge holder. Boom. All right, y'all. So, let me do my introductions. Let me put this on here. I broke one of the pieces of it. I got my smudge holder. This is so cute, but I did break it a little bit. But look at this. It's so cute. And it has like a little lip there for you to set your smudge on. I got this from a Piece of Love Lace here in Madison, Wisconsin. And it also came with a rolled bundle of sage, white sage, lavender wrapped in rose petals, okay? So yeah. All right, drink your water. Hydrate. Okay. What's up, y'all? Y'all like my earrings? Papyrus and charm. Y'all like my lips? Do my lips look luscious? Perfect Imperfections chocolate lip balm. This has shea butter, sweet almond oil, candelia wax. I don't know how to pronounce that. And cocoa butter. Candelia wax. I don't know, but look at my lips. Cute. Well, I did exfoliate today, but okay. Look at my lips. Y'all see this glow? I ain't got on no makeup. All I put on is this. This just vivacious glow. This is just glow, okay? I've been drinking my beetroot every day. I've been drinking my beetroot every day. I've been drinking, hydrating, drinking my water. I haven't had alcohol in like almost 2 months. Next week will be 2 months, I think, almost. Okay, let me put this on. Let me put this on here so that my calendar, my screen is blocked. I put on my blocker. Okay, y'all. So, oh, my ring is papyrus and charm also. And then my bracelets, I got them from a variety of places. Okay, so I wanted to just basically talk about this. Two things. And I can't say how long or short this is going to be. But 2 quick things, okay? So number 1, I did an interview last week. And I have literally been trying to make peace ever since then with myself after I did this interview, because I was like, wow, by the time that the interview is published, by the time that it's available to whoever wants to listen, I won't be the same person anymore. I'm already not the same person since last week when I did the interview. You know what I mean? I did an interview for a podcast. Shout out to Born to Create. I did an interview for a podcast though last week, and I'm like, dang, like I'm not even going to be the same person by the time that the podcast releases that I was at the time of the recording. And I've been making peace with that because I'm like, man, I guess I got to be okay with the fact that I've evolved. I feel like I've evolved a lot in that week since then, and I will definitely evolve much more in the time to come by the time that it gets released. And so for a lot of last week, I was feeling very like uncertain, very like worried or regretful, because I was like, man, like by the time it listens, am I going to be okay with that? Because it'll be a past version of myself that's been released to the public. It won't be representative of who I am at the time that this comes out, right? I won't be the same person anymore. And I've really just been making peace with that. So with that being said, like the main thing for that thought for myself is that I also have to recognize that through sharing, I was able to evolve. And had I not have shared, I probably would not have evolved as rapidly as I did last week after I did share. It was like the fact that I shared and I got my thoughts and my words outside of myself and shared them with other people. Usually I keep all of this to myself. You know what I mean? I keep my thoughts and whatnot to myself. So for this particular occasion, I sat down and had an hour-long conversation with people, and it's going to be released to the public, right? And so then I'm like, man, I won't be that same person anymore. I've had time to think about the things that I said. I've had time to think about, my feelings around some of the things that we talked about. And I'm like, man, like, I've evolved. So it's like that was a version, but now like my thought and whatnot has expanded into more. So I'm thankful. At first I was feeling worried and concerned, but now I'm feeling thankful for the opportunity to share, and then also for the opportunity to grow, or for the growth that opportunity facilitated within me, right? So that's that. I'm so excited though for when y'all do get to hear the podcast episode. I'm excited for when y'all do get to hear it. And then additionally, I was watching, I lost my voice because my son played football last night, okay? So like I'm super hoarse. My son played football. I thought it was like his last game in high school football, but we made it to playoffs. So there will be more games to come. But yeah, he his game was last night, and I'm always hoarse on Saturday mornings during football season because my son be playing on Friday nights under the lights, okay? So you know how in fairy tales I'm not going to say just fairy tales, but you know how like in movies and stories and cartoons and whatnot, you know how like whenever somebody is like, hold on, let me move this before I keep talking. I'm just worried. I'm like, is this heat gonna cause a fire? Something gonna melt? Is that a crack? It is. Oh, I don't know. Okay. How much time do I have? I only got a few minutes. So you know how like, you know how in shows and cartoons, movies, fairy tales, when somebody is like, I don't know, when they're trapped or when they're dead, when they're stuck, when they're unconscious, they usually get saved by somebody's tears. You can save your tears. You know how they be saved by somebody cries and then it brings them back into consciousness. It brings them from the dead. It renews, it brings renewal. They have another chance at life, right? They get to be their true selves because somebody was crying on their behalf, crying for their loss of that person. And the tears have some type of a magic in them that brings consciousness, that brings renewal, that brings life, okay? And so I was like, wow, like tears are so magical. All of that because somebody released. Somebody did the clearing. Somebody did the work of releasing, and that release created and facilitated freedom. And so I wanted to just talk about that. I know I'd be talking about tears and crying all the time, and here I am doing it again. And I just wanted to talk about like how I noticed that in like those movies and whatnot, you know, writers are not putting those nuggets in there consistently for no reason. Artists are not illustrating that for no reason. And so I think it's very important to take note. What is the message that they're trying to give us? What is the magic that the tears hold? What is the magic that crying holds for ourselves and then also for others? You know, so I was watching Hoarders this morning. I don't know why I think Facebook be playing with the algorithm. So this morning they randomly started showing me hoarders, and I think I watched it, so it just kept showing me more and more videos about hoarders, right? And people who are hoarding, we're not going to get all into the background and the history and the psychology about hoarding right now, but you know, if you know about hoarding, usually it starts from a traumatic place. For the most part, people usually start hoarding because of an experience that was a traumatic experience, and they channeled that into their hoarding behavior. Okay, they're clinging. That's their ability to control what they could not have control over before. Okay, that's how hoarding starts. And so I started watching hoarding videos this morning for whatever reason, and a lot of times in almost every episode of hoarding, there's the beginning stage where the person who's hoarding, like they're presenting this front, like they got everything together, they're cool, calm, and collected, and then eventually when they have to start letting go of stuff, then they cry. So it's like, let go and cry, let go and cry, because every time that you're crying, you are creating freedom for you to let go of this stuff that's holding you back. Literally, the literal representation, holding you back, right? The hoarding your feelings, hoarding your belongings, and it's all causing excessive weight, excessive stagnation, clutter, right? It's weighing you down physically, mentally, holding you back, literally, right? And so when we don't cry, we kind of end up with those hoarding. We end up hoarding in here. We hoard those experiences. We hoard. That creates death, right? It creates death like inside of us when we don't release. We are humans, right? We're constantly shedding our skin to create new skin, right? The old skin cells, they die. Our body internal organs, they detoxify. They go through this cleansing cycle, right? All of these functions in our body is created to go through a death and renewal cycle. And the same thing, I feel like the same thing can go for the same thing. I feel like the same thing goes for tears. I feel like through tears, you are doing a shedding. You are cleansing in order to renew and restore. So, like if you're hoarding, if you're not allowing your emotions to free themselves, you are holding them in captivity. Think about how in the fairy tales, somebody like might be held in an unconscious state of mind, or might be frozen into a stone or something, or like or shifted into another expression that's not their true expression, and then somebody cries and it frees them from that captivity, right? So, and then also if you think about it, if we're all connected and if we're all one, if you look at it from the lens of oneness, then you will see, like, if I cry for you, it's not any separate from me crying for self, right? And when I say crying for, what I really mean is like crying to cleanse, crying to create and facilitate freedom within self and others, right? Because of the fact that it's all connected. We are all connected. There is no real separation, because of the fact that every cause has an effect. So if I do something for you, I'm also doing for self. And then if I do something for that stranger over there, that impacts me also. So if you're looking at it from the sense of oneness and connectedness, there is no separation, right? So you are creating freedom from captivity for not just this outside source. You're creating that freedom within. If you are crying to bring consciousness back into reality, those tears unlock more consciousness. Bringing you from the unconscious, bringing you from unconscious to consciousness. Bring me from death to immortality. Lead me from sleep to waking. Lead me from unreal to real, right? And we can use those tears as a vessel to facilitate that. My camera is about to run out of battery. And so I just want to say that we're always evolving. Number one, that's the beginning. I don't know. Neither of these are connected, but they are. We're always evolving, and then finding forgiveness in yourself and allowing yourself to continue to evolve, and acknowledge that your past selves were necessary. You had to be those in order to be whoever you. And my camera shut off. And the thing is, the thing about the coming to the understanding. Look, I had something on my eye the whole time. I didn't even know it. The part about coming to the understanding that I needed to share in order to facilitate the growth forward, the forward movement, is that I had to forgive myself for not being, I had to forgive myself, because I was like, man, like, I feel, how do I put it? I had to forgive myself and make peace with the fact that I'm not going to be who I was back then by the time that the podcast is released, right? And so I have to realize, though, part of that forgiveness is realizing that my intentions were there, that I had my intentions, my heart was in the right place. I had the right intentions. It's just that that's not going to be who I am anymore. I won't still be who I was last week. Okay? Not that anything was bad. I didn't say anything bad on the podcast. It's just that I'm going to be listening to it whenever it comes out. And I'm going to be like, dang, like there was more. I should have shared more. I should have went into more detail about blah, blah, blah. Or I should have been more elaborate or more concise. You think about all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and then you're like, dang, like I just got to forgive myself for not having the mind today that I had that day. And then move on. I had the right intentions. Otherwise, the other me would have been like, Keena, you can never, the other, I guess, to acknowledge the other side within me that makes me hesitant, or that make me feel, shamed or frustrated with myself. It would be like the part that says, this is why you shouldn't go and share. This is why you shouldn't release videos, because you're gonna post it, or it'll be published, and then you're going to realize all the things that you should have or could have said better or differently. But there's no compassion in that. That's perfectionism mindset. I'm not a perfectionist. even though that type of behavior exists in me, I'm a practitioner. I practice. So acknowledging the practitioner in me says, well, Keena, you're going to constantly be changing and evolving. There's no lack of, of discussion. There's no limitation to how many times you can talk about a subject as you grow and evolve, as your understanding expands, as your horizon broadens around certain discussions and topics. By speaking and by sharing, and by practicing, the only thing that I'm doing is laying more bricks on the path in front of me. Okay? And so I say that on that particular subject to encourage you, anybody, to do the practice, to do the thing that you was going to be doing. Go ahead and get to that doing, okay? Because by not doing so, your intention to not do the doing, the thing that you wanted to do, is rooted in a place of fear and lack. So don't let that be you by saying, I'm not going to do it because what if I don't get it right? What if I change after I do whatever the first thing was? What if I make a portrait? And then after I make that portrait, I realize, man, I could have done better. I could have done something more. I could have honed in on this. Then guess what? Your eye would not have recognized that if you had not have done this first one. Does that make sense? Like, okay, I'll do another example. Think about how, maybe we'll do language and then we'll do cars. Language. Once you understand a word and the definition of it, whether you never used it before or whether you was using it but using it in the wrong context, or maybe you was always hearing it but then you finally said, what does that mean? When you have the curiosity or the openness to receive or to look for the answer, then that word begins to show up in your language more. You begin to notice and recognize it more. It's mindfulness. You begin to notice and recognize it more. Just because you had that first initial experience, that initiation into that word, and now you're recognizing it, you're seeing it everywhere, right? Think about with the car. As soon as you get you a red car, the red car story, or a green car, whatever, as soon as you get your car or the brand, then you start noticing the same car everywhere. I never noticed the car that I have until I got it, and now I see it in every parking lot. Nothing changed besides my awareness. And it was only because I opened up myself to that first experience for the subsequent experiences to take place and unfold, right? Let's say, what was the other thing I just immediately thought about just now? Was joy. Okay, so do the same thing with joy. Okay, that's what I was going to say. What if you did the same thing with joy? What if you woke up every day and was like, I'm going to look for joy everywhere around me? If you start practicing looking for joy, if you started to practice seeing gratitude, you will see it everywhere and in everything. It's undeniable. So that's how sometimes I wake up, and then so when I say good morning joy, good morning gratitude, good morning prosperity, good morning abundance, when I say those things in my morning ritual, I see them everywhere. I see joy everywhere and in everything. I see prosperity everywhere and in everything. Prosperity. I see abundance in everywhere and everything. I see limitless everywhere and in everything. Okay, I see clarity everywhere and in everything. I see freedom everywhere and in everything, because those are the things that my mind is now open to. So now I'm seeing it. So allow yourself to evolve, because the more that you open yourself up to the evolution, the more you will be able to journey on the path that is meant for you. You will be able to sweep your broom, will be able to get to sweeping, clearing away the clutter and the dust that's on the path in front of you, so that you can walk with minimal obstruction into your destiny, into whatever you are meant to do, into your purpose. Okay? So do that, okay? Allow yourself to be a practitioner. I know I've already made other videos about being a practitioner and perfectionism, letting go, releasing that perfectionist mind state. And then also, with that being said, allow the tears to create and to facilitate. If you need to cry, cry, and let those tears be magic. Let them be a vessel, a channel, let them be a channel for your freedom. Let your tears be a channel for your freedom. Let your tears facilitate the cycle of the evolution of death into renewal, okay? Inside of you. Let your tears serve to detoxify your body. Let your tears take you out of captivity. Let your tears bring you out of unconsciousness into consciousness, all right? Through the magic. Allow them to do their magic. I know those are two separate topics, but again, they are one, okay? So that's it. Evolution requires forgiveness and practice. Being able to evolve is something to be thankful for, even if shame arises in that journey. Okay, am I even recording? And through the journey, sometimes you might experience emotions. Do not bottle them up inside of you. Let them clear the way to freedom. Let them clear the way for you, because that's what they're there for. Okay, they're magic. And all of that is magic unfolding, right? All right, that's it. Peace out. See y'all next time. Definitely tune in to some of these other videos in the playlist if you're interested in more.